In this video, I'm going to go through the exact steps to buy a rental property. This will give you the confidence to be able to move through the process and know what to expect. When I bought my first rental, I was very reactive to the process because I didn't know what to expect next. The agent would say, hey, you need to talk to the bank. I would talk to the bank. They would say, hey, you need to order insurance. And I was very reactive and going through the motions because I didn't know what was next. And so the goal for this video is to give you the confidence to not only understand it, but to anticipate what is coming so you can prepare for that and take advantage of the situation and make sure you have what you need. So first things first, when you're looking to invest in real estate, you need to make a decision. Now, I know that might sound elementary, but you wouldn't imagine the number of people that talk about investing in real estate. They watch a bunch of videos, maybe read a bunch of books, but they never make the decision to start. And when you make that decision, you will start to put in a series of actions in motion to hopefully acquire your first or many rental properties. But if you never make the decision, nothing will ever happen. After you've made the decision, the next piece is figuring out your financing. Will you use a bank to finance these deals? Will you use some of your own capital, hard money, private money? This is a whole video on its own about financing, but you need to figure out how you are going to purchase that deal. And so if you're using banks, which is what I would recommend and what I do, you will want to go through the pre-approval process. Doing this ahead of time before you ever find a deal will allow you to move much faster once you start to put offers in. So get pre-approved, get with the bank, see what they need, and go through that process on the front end. After you go through the financing, the next piece is looking for deals. So this is when you're going to be looking at a lot of different properties, maybe on market or off market. My first property was on market on just looking at a bunch of different properties on Realtor and Zillow. And so whenever you are doing this, you will analyze a lot of deals as far as numbers. What do they rent for? What do the expenses look like? How much can you pay for it? What are they asking for it? These are all a lot of different things you have to figure out before you ever get to the point of writing up a contract. And so if you're in that piece and not really understanding how to analyze deals, I'll include a link in the description to my free real estate investing calculator. Not only does it have the calculator, but I go through a video explaining exactly how to use it, where to locate these numbers, and how to look at a deal to understand what you should pay for it, how much it should cash flow, and all of the great things that make up a great rental property. And so after you've found a deal, the next piece is to make an offer. If you don't make an offer, you will not ever own any rental property. So if this is on market, you'll get with your real estate agent to write this up. If it's off market, you will do this yourself between a wholesaler or the buyer or whoever you're going through this with. And then after you make an offer and it gets accepted, that is when the real work starts to happen. So the bank will start the process of getting you the loan. They will start to order an appraisal for that property. And then I would also recommend about this time to start getting quotes for insurance on that property. This can also be a timely process, which I learned the hard way of waiting too long to get quotes. And this can push back some of your closing dates and some of the deadlines that you need to hit. So do that right up front when you're after you get the offer accepted and you're looking to, while the bank is doing their thing. And then the bank will also get the title company involved to make sure you have a clear title. Everything looks good from that perspective. And that is also a big part of the process of making sure you get to the closing table. There's a couple different ways you can handle this piece, but after that, you'll start due diligence. You'll walk the property, maybe get an inspection on the property, and figure out if anything's wrong with it or what needs to happen to make sure that you feel comfortable buying it. Now, you can do this before you ever put an offer in, but when it comes to real estate investing, especially with rental properties, and if you're in a competitive market or it's a hot market, a lot of times folks will want to have a contract in hand before you ever look at the property or walk it. This is definitely the case if there's tenants already in the property. They don't want to disturb them, and they want to wait till they have a serious buyer to start doing some of that stuff. And then so once you go through due diligence and you've dotted the I's and crossed the T's, as they say, the bank is doing all of the things in the background to make sure that you get to the closing table. This can be about a 30-day process on average, sometimes much quicker depending on the route you go for financing. And so once you get the call that, hey, title's clear, bank has the loan in place, you've done your due diligence, you have your insurance, on the property that the bank will require you to use. Congratulations, you are now at the closing table, signing the needed paperwork, and now you own a rental property. This is where the real work starts. So now that you own the property, you have to figure out what the next step is. Does that look like I need to rehab the property, or is it turnkey or something that's already ready to go or has tenants in it? That may be a different scenario. But in the case of a rehab, you would get that done. And then the next step after that is marketing the property to find a tenant to rent the property. Now, this can be done two different ways. If you're using a professional property management company, they will handle all of that. So they'll market the property, source tenants, do background checks, collect rent, handle maintenance, all of that stuff. If you are not using a management company, that will all fall on you. So it's really important to understand having good systems in place and processes to be able to make all of those things happen. And then once you market the property, you will have a qualified tenant. Then you'll ultimately sign a lease. And that's also another really exciting time in this process. That's where you will start to collect rent, which is a really exciting thing. It's why you started the whole process in the first place. And hopefully if you ran your numbers right and you analyze the deal, you will start to generate some really great cash flow. And then you can reinvest that into the business if that's your ambitions and start to scale. And then so that is really in a nutshell what this looks like whenever you are starting from the jump of how in the world do I buy a rental property all the way to the end of getting a tenant in the property and starting to make money. And if you liked this video, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel where we cut out videos each week on real estate investing, specifically in long-term rental properties. And before you go, I will link a video that I did last week on talking about the 8 things you need to know before buying your first rental property. So I appreciate you tuning in. This video is a wrap. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.